Right now on Good Morning America, first look, violent clashes erupting on the streets of Minneapolis overnight. After another shooting by a federal immigration agent, what we're learning about what led to the shooting.
Some U.S. military personnel in the Middle East now urged to evacuate amid rising tensions with Iran. What President Trump is saying about potential military action, plus the vote in Congress on whether to limit Trump's war powers in Venezuela.
The major service outage affecting Verizon users. What customers are now being told.
A 30-vehicle pileup on the highway in slick conditions. The lake effect snow now on the move.
The disturbing trend of robbers targeting Pokemon stores with cards skyrocketing in value. Another major heist, guns pointed at terrified shoppers.
Also, hear from the worker who stopped a runaway boulder from flying into the crowd at this popular Disney World show.
Big news overnight about the fired NFL coach so many teams apparently want to hire.
And a growing controversy involving Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show. The height requirements being enforced.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America, First Look.
Good Thursday morning, everyone. I'm Sophie Flay.
And I'm Hannah Batal. We begin with more disturbing scenes from Minnesota after another shooting involving a federal immigration agent.
Tensions once again boiling over after officials say two people started to attack the agent.
Overnight, violent clashes unfolding in the streets of Minneapolis after the second shooting by a federal agent in 1 week. Law enforcement agents deploying chemical irritants as demonstrators set off fireworks in their direction. Homeland Security officials say the latest violence stems from an attempted traffic stop last night. They say the subject of the stop, a Venezuelan immigrant, tried to flee and a struggle ensued. Officials say two people came out of nearby homes and hit law enforcement with a shovel and a broom handle. An agent then opened fire, shooting a male attacker in the leg. Two others were taken into custody.
This is already a very tense situation, and we do not need this to escalate any further.
Deputy U.S. Attorney General Todd Blanche responding, saying the Minnesota insurrection is a direct result of a failed governor and a terrible mayor encouraging violence against law enforcement. It's disgusting. Walls and Frey, I'm focused on stopping you from your terrorism by whatever means necessary. This is not a threat. It's a promise.
This is not creating safety. It's certainly not creating safety when a huge percentage of the shootings that have taken place so far this year in Minneapolis have been by ICE.
Officials trying to lower the temperature after the fatal shooting of Renee Good last week. Violent scenes playing out on a daily basis. Agents firing pepper spray, dragging people from cars, and bursting into this family's home with a battering ram.
Show the warrant first.
An immigrant from Africa was facing removal for a decade-old drug conviction. His family says agents showed a warrant signed by an immigration officer, not a judge. And now a potential legal battle over Renee Good's death. Her family has hired the attorney who represented George Floyd's family. The state of Minnesota has asked a federal judge to issue a temporary restraining order to stop agents from carrying out raids and arrests, claiming they're unconstitutional. The governor warns the situation could become even more chaotic, saying this about President Trump.
This week, he went online to promise that, quote, the day of retribution and reckoning is coming. That's a direct threat against the people of this state, who dared to vote against him 3 times, and who continue to stand up for freedom with courage and empathy and profound grace.
As for the state's request for a restraining order, the judge is giving the Trump administration more time to respond.
Now to the unrest in Iran. U.S. military personnel in the region on alert. Some now being urged to evacuate because of the rising tensions. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the details. Nicole, good morning.
Well, Hannah, good morning. President Trump says the killing of anti-government protesters in Iran has now stopped. At the same time, the region appears to be bracing for possible U.S. military action. This morning, as tensions escalate in Iran, the U.S. is evacuating some personnel from its biggest military base in the region. Iran also temporarily closing its airspace to commercial flights last night. Planes forced to reroute amid concern over possible military action. Activists say more than 2,500 people have been killed in the regime's brutal crackdown on anti-government protesters. President Trump has warned the U.S. will take action if Iran begins executing jailed protesters. But now Trump says he's been told told that Iran's government is holding off on executions.
They've said the killing has stopped and the executions won't take place.
Trump suggesting military action against Iran is on hold, at least for now.
We're going to watch it and see what the process is, but we were given a very good statement by people that are aware of what's going on.
At the White House yesterday, attention turning to the president's push to take over Greenland. Officials from Greenland and Denmark met with Vice President Vance and Secretary of State Rubio, both sides acknowledging what Denmark called a fundamental disagreement.
It's clear that the president has this wish of conquering over Greenland. We made it very, very clear that this is not in the interest of the kingdom.
Trump insists the U.S. needs Greenland for national security. His Interior Secretary Doug Burgum posting this image showing the U.S. Interior spanning from Alaska all the way to Greenland. But Arctic security experts tell ABC News there's no immediate threat near Greenland, noting that Chinese and Russian ships have been more active in the Bering Strait near Alaska. Still, Denmark is now beefing up its military presence in Greenland. France, Germany, and other NATO allies are also sending troops. Meanwhile, on Capitol Hill last night, the focus was back on Venezuela. Vice President Vance casting a tie-breaking vote to reject a measure that would have limited President Trump's power to conduct further military action in that country. Trump meets today with Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Machado. And an official says the U.S. has now completed its first sale of Venezuelan oil valued at $500 million. Sophie.
Nicole, thank you. Verizon says it's now restored service after an outage affecting millions of people across the country. Sources say it was not a cyber attack, but instead a server problem in New Jersey. Verizon recommends restarting your device if you're still having issues. The company is promising account credits to those affected.
The NASA astronauts forced to cut their mission to space short because of a medical issue are returning home this morning. No other space station crew has ever had to do this. Here's ABC's Andrea Fujii.
This morning, 4 astronauts coming home after undocking from the space station.
Undocking confirmed.
The crew splashing down off the San Diego coast, returning to Earth 1 month early because of a medical situation on board. The astronauts spoke earlier about their unprecedented early departure.
What was not surprising to me was how well this crew came together as a family to help each other and just take care of each other.
The commander of the SpaceX Crew 11 held a change of command ceremony with the 3 crew members behind him, Kimiya Yui, Oleg Platonov, and Zina Cardman. 2 Russians and a NASA engineer remain on board.
We're from all over the planet, and we're working together. It's a great symbol of what human beings can do.
Though in the video, all the astronauts look to be in good spirits, it's not clear which one has the undisclosed medical issue, with NASA only saying the astronaut is in stable condition and the return was not an emergency. But doctors on Earth will be able to better diagnose the issue. Experts say astronauts are trained to address medical emergencies, but some situations require more.
Basically, the condition might be something that requires an urgent further assessment or specialized assessment, which the ISS does not have, or even specialized management. They would then consider even an immediate deorbit if that was needed, but in this case, an evacuation.
The crew hugging goodbye to the astronauts they left behind, who will stay in space until the new crew arrives next month.
They're perfectly healthy individuals who've been tested, but we know that the strain of the environment of space, the radiation, the microgravity, it puts a toll on the body.
Today, the 4 astronauts fly to Houston, where they'll face a routine evaluation, and the sick astronaut will undergo testing. Hannah, Sophie.
Andrea, thank you. Investigators looking into November's deadly UPS plane crash in Kentucky say Boeing previously issued a warning about a part that apparently contributed to the crash. They say damage to that part allowed the plane's engine to fall off the MD-11, killing 15 people. Boeing's warning in 2011 said the company did not believe the flaw would compromise safety. The part failed 4 other times.
From Indiana this morning, video of a massive pileup near South Bend. About 30 cars collided in the slippery conditions, including multiple semi-trucks. Several people were injured. Now let's check your Thursday forecast.
Good morning. Big ticket item on the weather map is the cold air. The lake effect snows from the Great Lakes into the northeast. It's warm in the west. We've got cold air digging down south, and also the I-95 corridor. That's falling temperatures in New York City today. Look at the snows from northeast Ohio and upstate New York and New England. We have rounds of snow going into the weekend. Lake snow warnings, winter storm warnings downwind of the lakes. This goes into Saturday, and you can see about a foot of snow eastern Great Lakes into the Appalachians, and the cold air digging south. It's going to be a freeze watch into Friday morning, central and northern Florida. That's your forecast. I'm ABC News meteorologist Lee Goldberg.
Coming up, the NASCAR legend whose home was burglarized, $30,000 stolen.
But first, a man clinging to this truck driving down the interstate.
And we hear from the man who stopped a runaway boulder at Disney World.
A bizarre scene in Boston. A man clinging to the back of that moving pickup truck on the Mass Pike. He lost his grip, got up, and walked away. Police say he was having a mental health crisis and was taken to the hospital.
Authorities in North Carolina say the home of the late NASCAR legend Greg Biffle was burglarized last week. Police say $30,000 in cash was stolen. Biffle, his wife, and 2 children were among those killed in a plane crash last month. Another major robbery at a Pokemon store, the latest here in New York. 3 armed men smashing the cases, stealing more than $100,000 in merchandise in front of terrified shoppers. $300,000 worth of cards were stolen recently from a store in California.
We turn now to the runaway boulder at Disney World and the hero who jumped in to stop it.
It's one of the most iconic scenes in movie history. And it's one recreated each day at Disney World as part of the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. But on December 30th, that boulder flew off its track, barreling towards the audience. While it's not a real boulder, that big rubber ball could still be dangerous.
Is it actually a 400-pound boulder?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you felt it that day?
Yeah, anyone that sees that and the way it propels me backwards, it's not 10 pounds.
John Herrick has been part of the show for more than 30 years, so he knew the danger. He rushed to stop it, later waving to the crowd to let them know he's okay. But he fractured 2 vertebrae and now has to wear a neck brace for 2 months. Disney, after the incident, saying, "Safety is at the heart of what we do, and that element of the show will be modified as our safety team completes a review of what happened." Meanwhile, just like Indiana Jones, Herrick is being hailed as a hero for his actions.
I have a difficult time with that moniker. Hero, there was no thought about that at all.
He says he just wants to get back to work.
I miss my Epic family, and I miss the audience. I miss that little girl and that, the big eyes watching the show. That I get a chance to make magic for people every day.
For now, the show is being performed without the boulder.
Understandably so. Coming up, the return of whole milk in schools.
Also ahead, new details about the alleged argument that led to actor Kiefer Sutherland's arrest.
Back now with a new warning about wild mushrooms in California. 3 deaths are now linked to poisoning from death cap mushrooms, along with dozens of hospitalizations. Recent heavy rain has fueled their spread, and the mushrooms are easily mistaken for others that are safe.
President Trump has signed a bill allowing schools to once again serve whole milk. The bipartisan legislation excludes milk from federal regulations on saturated fats. The president says this will allow parents to choose what's best for their child while also benefiting farmers.
Now to the 2 actors recently arrested. We're learning more about the cases against Timothy Busfield and Kiefer Sutherland.
New details about the arrest of 24 and designated survivor star Kiefer Sutherland after his alleged argument with a rideshare driver. TMZ reports Sutherland called an Uber to take him home after dinner with a friend, and at some point during the drive, he told the driver to pull over and let him out. Sutherland reportedly told police the driver refused his request, and Sutherland asked 2 more times, but the driver would not stop. Sutherland then allegedly threatened to kill the driver if he did not pull over. The driver claims the actor assaulted him with his hands. A language barrier may have been a factor. The driver reportedly requested a translator when police questioned him. Sutherland has been released on $50,000 bail and is due back in court next month.
State of New Mexico versus Timothy Busfield.
Meanwhile, West Wing actor Timothy Busfield has made his first court appearance on charges he sexually abused a child actor he directed on the TV show The Cleaning Lady. Prosecutors now say another parent has come forward, claiming Busfield sexually abused his 16-year-old daughter during a theater audition in Sacramento several years ago, claiming Busfield begged the family not to report to police if he received therapy. Prosecutors claim Busfield poses a serious danger to children, having shown a sustained pattern of predatory conduct going back decades. Busfield, before surrendering, denied all accusations in the criminal complaint.
I'm going to confront these lies. They're horrible. They're all lies. And I did not do anything to those little boys. And I'm going to fight it.
His lawyer says Busfield passed a polygraph. His wife, actress Melissa Gilbert, says she stands with her husband. He'll be back in court later this month.
Coming up, big news overnight about the NFL coach who's in demand.
Also ahead, we visit a special hospital for turtles. Time to check the pulse. We start with a wild ending to a college basketball game.
It was Kentucky versus LSU. Take a look at the final seconds.
Long throw in, caught by Marino, the jumper, got it! The Cats come back to win it!
Look at that. That tap-in completed a huge comeback for Kentucky. They were down by 16 at halftime, but they won 75-74.
In the NFL, the New York Giants are working to finalize a deal to make John Harbaugh their next head coach. ESPN reports a deal is expected. His contract is now being negotiated.
A controversy involving Bad Bunny's Super Bowl halftime show. Fans are upset over a height requirement. The application to work on the singer's field team says you must be between 5'7" and 6 feet tall. Organizers say it's important and will be verified. Attention, Summer Olympics fans, it's time for tickets.
LA is hosting the 2028 Games, and the Olympic website is now accepting applications to buy tickets. You have until mid-March. Some of those events, by the way, will cost just $28. Wow, it's a steal. Okay, next, a special hospital in Florida offering life-saving care to endangered turtles.
The Marathon Turtle Hospital is the first of its kind. Their mission is to rescue and rehab threatened sea turtles. Our Victor Okendo visited as part of Good Morning America's 50 States in 50 Weeks series.
This is an emergency room.
Can we take a look?
You can take a look, and if you were a 6 sea turtle, this is where you would come into the hospital.
What does the process usually look like when a 6 sea turtle arrives?
So they come in and we want to make sure they're stable. That's the first thing. Make sure they're breathing, just like in a human hospital. Then we're going to weigh them. We're going to collect their blood right away and start running blood chemistry. We're going to get photographs and measurements. We have a turtle coming in now.
And we'll have much more on the incredible work they're doing at the Turtle Hospital later on Good Morning America. Finally, a police pursuit like no other.
An emu on the run near St. Augustine, Florida. A deputy tried to detain this escaped emu. His first attempt clearly did not work.
So he used a makeshift lasso and his handcuffs around the emu's legs to keep the animal in custody until the owner showed up. Top headlines next. Checking more top stories, a second person has been shot by federal agents in Minneapolis, sparking new clashes with protesters. Homeland Security says an undocumented immigrant was shot and wounded during a scuffle after fleeing a traffic stop. It comes a week after Renee Good was shot and killed by an immigration officer.
The Trump administration says it'll suspend the processing of visas for citizens of 75 countries until further notice. Russia, Iran, Thailand, and Brazil are among those on the list. The State Department says this move is aimed at keeping out immigrants who might need public assistance.
2 more deaths on the road have prompted regulators to issue a new warning to used car buyers and owners about airbag inflators from China, which are being used by some repair shops. 8 deaths are now blamed on those parts.
Today's weather, winds up to 60 miles an hour in the plains and heavy lake effect snow from Ohio to upstate New York.
And finally, the power of social media and a message.
It can really change lives, and Danny New explains.
Am I now about to fly across the world to meet him for the first time? Yep.
A relationship that started with an Instagram message from across the world has now turned into an internet obsession.
The comments are crazy sometimes. Yeah. I mean, people are just like, have you moved to Ireland yet?
Irish man DMs me, I respond. I go to Ireland, I fall in love with him, because what else am I supposed to do?
Actress and comedian Teresa Rowley of Texas received a message from musician Sean Rooney of Ireland around spring of last year.
He said something that was very Irish, and so I checked his account and I thought, oh, he's pretty cute and he's Irish.
She says it was a slow burn at first, but soon they were talking for hours every day. And Teresa was ready to take a leap of faith across the Atlantic. That is, however, once he FaceTimed with her mother and she got a friend to come with her.
It's not foolproof, but, you know, maybe I'm a fool.
Fool in love.
Hey!
Clearly, the first meeting went well.
Thank you.
And since then, her video about that inaugural trip has picked up millions of views on social media. One commenter writing, "You realize by posting this you've invited all of us to the wedding, right?" Sean has also now visited Texas, making stops at Buc-ee's and a cowboy hat fitting. Although...
He says, "What's queso?"
His lack of knowledge about Tex-Mex did shock Teresa.
We've talked to WFAA, and now we're in the Washington Post.
And while they say yes, all this attention has led to questions about whether one of them will move across the world for the other.
Do we have the answers to it? No, not yet, but I think that's okay.
For the record, guys, Sean and Teresa said that they are always asked what was that first message he sent her, but they feel at least that part of their relationship should have the right to remain private.
Dying to know. That's your Good Morning America First Look. Have a great day.